broadcast, we're going to talk about doing tarot readings with using one card. All right, so I'm going to ask if it's in my highest and best interest to go out in this blizzard that we're having today and go to the grocery store. And I'm using my Rider-Waite, which is actually Universal Weight deck. And I'm going to ask the question, best interest, to go to the grocery store during the blizzard. Here we go. I'm pulling the first card. Oh my, it does not look happy. You can that are dark and say that that would be a no. So not only, I'm sorry, I'm trying to see how this will work on my Facebook page as a live event. So I'm doing a little test right now. Because that card was dark, that's so because it looked like they were not having a good time. No. So both look at the picture of what's happening. Light colors and dark are in the card. So I'm going to ask another question. Is it in my highest and best interest to get my financial planning license back active again? So I'm going to ask that. Is it in my highest and best interest to get my financial license back? And I get the Four of Swords. Now, does that look like he's doing anything? No, not just laying there. That would be a no, because there's no action, because I asked an action question and the figure is not taking any kind of action. So that would be a no. So now I'm going to ask, is it in best interest to retire from working in 2 years? That's a good question. Is it in my highest and best interest to retire completely in the next 2 years? And then I pull a card. Does that look like she's having a good time? No. So that would be a no. So is it in my highest and best interest to work for a different company? And we'll see what that comes up as. Yes. Aces are always yes. That's the way I set it up. Now you have to set up your own rules when you're using tarot cards, but my rule is when I pull in an ace, it's always a yes. And I don't read in the reverse, but if you set up your own rules and how that works for you, and then the cards will be consistent for you. All right. So is it in best interest to teach a class? Just if I should just teach a class about, is it in my highest and best interest to teach a numerology class? All right, now we get the Queen of Swords. Now, when you just look at this card as a yes or no, do you see how her hand is out and she's kind of offering, like she's sitting there like a teacher would sit in a chair at the head of the room, and she's offering? This is a yes. Now, let's say that we were confused by that and we just didn't know, and we wanted to pull a second card to say, I want clarification on that. Is that really a yes? Is it in my highest and best interest to teach a numerology class? Oh my, it will be challenging because look, he's struggling and there's lots of wands wanting to poke him and he's having to get up there to fight. So you know what? That's a card that means, so it's not maybe a simple yes and no question. Sometimes that will happen to you also. So I'm going to head and end this broadcast. I just wanted to see if I could live on my Facebook feed, and it looks like it's doing it just fine. So thank you for joining.